Good afternoon and welcome to the first edition of The World Today for the week. It is a Southwest Network program of Radio Nigeria, Ibadan's own station, comprising news and feature. In the lineup, FG reschedules evacuation flight for returnees from South Africa. Oyo government demolishes kidnappers' hideout in Ibadan. On the foreign scene, WHO chief visits Ebola hits Uganda. China's president arrives in North Korea state visit. Heart of the matter is on ensuring food safety, while the feature is on male snakes. My name is Emilia Ojemudia, and I'm reading with
Remy or Molola. You can also listen to us on live stream via www.radionigeriaibadan.gov.ng or watch us live on Facebook at Prem FM 93.5. In this rainy season, avoid dumping refuse in waterways. Now, the news in full. The federal government has announced a change in the schedule for the evacuation of Nigerian nationals from South Africa, citing logistics challenges. In a statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the government says the proposed airlifting of the first batch of returnees, initially slated for today, will now take place on Wednesday, the 10th of June. Officials attributed the shift to unforeseen logistical consideration, but assure that necessary arrangements are being finalized to ensure a smooth operation. The evacuation is part of ongoing effort to assist Nigerians abroad who have indicated interest in returning home.
The federal government has introduced fresh measures aimed at strengthening financial discipline across ministries, departments and agencies (MDAs) by placing new limits on reimbursable interest and tightening oversight of public funds. The new directives are contained in the 2026 Annual General Interest Warrant signed by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Taiwo Uyedele, and conveyed through a Federal Treasury circular issued by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. The circular, signed by the Accountant General of the Federation, Mr. Shamsuddin Ogunjimi, authorizes accounting officers across the three arms of government to approve funds to eligible interest holders while setting clear spending thresholds and compliance requirements. According to the circular, ministers will be entitled to a maximum reimbursable interest of 700,000 naira. Permanent secretaries and directors general will be limited to 500,000 naira, while directors and heads of departments will be entitled to 300,000 naira, and heads of formations in states and other authorized interest holders will have a ceiling of 100,000 naira. The Office of the Accountant General said the move was in line with the provisions of Financial Regulation 1003, which forms part of efforts to ensure accountability and prudent management of public resources.
Federal government has processed payments exceeding 700 billion naira in verified obligation owed to local contractors for the past few months, including 436.6 billion naira disbursed in May alone, as part of effort to clear long-standing debt and boost economic activities. The Federal Minister of Finance disclosed this in a statement issued by its Director of Information and Public Relations, Mr. Efe Okpakborie, noting that payments had also been approved for more than 1,240 contractors across various ministries, departments and agencies. According to the ministry, the approvals were granted by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Taiwo Uyedele, following a verification and reconciliation exercise to ensure that only duly validated claims qualified for payment. The ministry said the latest disbursements represented a major step towards addressing inherited payment obligations, particularly those affecting indigenous businesses, small and medium-sized enterprises. According to the ministry, the release of funds is expected to provide immediate relief to businesses by enabling them to return to project sites, pay workers, settle suppliers, and meet other financial obligations.
And now to education matters. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has opened its portal for candidates scheduled for the 2026 MOPUP Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME to print their examination notification slips. JAMB spokesperson Dr. Fabian Benjamin announced that eligible candidates could now access and print their slips ahead of the examination scheduled for this week, Saturday, being June the 13th, 2026. He explained that the notification slip contained essential details such as candidates' examination centers, dates, times, and other instructions required for a smooth conduct of the exercise. According to him, the mop-up examination is designed for candidates who missed the earlier UTME due to technical challenges, as well as those whose biometric verification could not be completed during the main examination. He urged eligible candidates to visit the board's official website and click on Print 2026 Mop-Up UTME slip to access their examination details, advising them to print early to avoid last-minute challenges. The board stressed that the mop-up exercise represented the final opportunity for eligible candidates to sit for the 2026 UTME, adding that no further examination will be conducted after the exercise.
The Cross River State Government will seal the Safe Hands Maternity Clinic in Calabar municipality of the state following the reported death of a patient after surgery. The facility was completely shut down by the State Task Force on Health Quality and Anti-Quackery after investigation revealed multiple violations of healthcare regulations, including performing surgical procedure in a substandard environment and operating the facility without the prerequisite approvals. Chairman of the task force, Dr. Dan Abubakar, while speaking during inspection, expressed deep concern over the condition of the facility, describing it as a serious threat to public health and safety. He said what they found there was completely unacceptable. Facilities operating under these conditions are potential death traps and have no place in a healthcare system that prioritizes patient safety. He explained that the team paid an unscheduled inspection visit to the facility based on a petition linking the clinic to a death of a patient who reportedly underwent surgery at the center, adding that the inspection uncovered alarming breaches of professional and operational standards. He noted that the clinic owned by Mrs. Inyak Ekeng, a community health extension officer, was operating from a converted 3-bedroom apartment that had been transformed into a 6-bed maternity ward with no licensed nurses on duty.
Oyo State Ministry of Environment has flagged off planting of 1 million trees across the state as part of its commitment to climate action, environmental sustainability, and ecosystem restoration. The initiative, which forms the continuation of the activities marking the 2026 World Environment Day celebration, is being implemented in collaboration with the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA. Speaking at the flag-off ceremony, Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Mr. Ademola Aderinto, described tree planting as one of the most practical and effective strategies for combating climate change, reducing carbon emissions, preventing land degradation, and improving air quality. Mr. Aderinto noted that the initiative aligned with the vision of Governor Seyi Makinde's administration to build a greener and more climate-resilient state, noting that every tree planted today is an investment in the future of the state. In a symbolic demonstration of the government's commitment to environmental sustainability, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, Dr. Sunday Ojelabi, planted a tree in honor of the Commissioner, Mr. Ademola Aderinto. The Commissioner explained that the 1 million trees will be planted across communities, schools, government institutions, roadsides, and other strategic locations throughout the state.
Oyo State Government has alerted residents across the state to the heightened risk of flash floods following the high-impact base forecast issued by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET. Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Mr. Ademola Aderinto, said that this was briefing newsmen on the preparation of the ministry to prevent flood. Mr. Aderinto said that high-intensity thunderstorms and heavy surface runoff could result in temporary road overflows and community flooding, calling on residents to cooperate with government efforts to protect lives and property. Mr. Aderinto explained that while the state government has intensified the clearing of critical drainage channels across the state, residents must also play their part by ensuring that drains, gutters and waterways around their homes and communities are free from plastic bottles, silt and other waste materials that obstruct the free flow of water. The commissioner further warned the individuals and developers against unauthorized dragging or construction activities capable of altering natural water channels or blocking drainage paths, stressing that such action constitute violation of Oyo State environmental laws and will attract appropriate sanctions. He also advised motorists and pedestrians to avoid driving or walking through flooded roads, especially at night, as flash floods can be deceptive and powerful enough to sweep away vehicles and individuals. Mr. Aderinto urged residents living in low-lying valleys and flood-prone communities to take proactive measures by securing their lives and property, including elevating valuable household items, important documents, and electrical appliances above floor levels.
Still in Oyo State, the government has demolished a 3-bedroom bungalow located in Lado community, a Yegun area of Ibadan, which was allegedly used as a hideout by kidnappers involved in the kidnapping of the younger sister of former Minister of Power, Chief Bayo Adelabu, and her children. The demolition was carried out by officials of the Oyo State Ministry of Public Works and Transportation, accompanied by operatives of the Nigeria Police Force, who visited the scene as part of ongoing efforts to tackle kidnapping and other criminal activities in the state. The victims, Mrs. Olaide John Paul, and her 12-year-old twin sons, Peter and Paul, were abducted at Eleura Challenge area of Ibadan on Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. The state government said the action underscores its commitment to combating insecurity and dismantling criminal networks operating within Oyo State.
The Nigeria Police Oyo State Command has assured residents that investigations are ongoing to clamp down on all individuals connected to the criminal network involved in the abduction of former Minister of Power Chief Adebayo Adelabu's sister, Mrs. Olaide John Paul, and her 2 twin sons. The Commissioner of Police in Oyo State, Mr. Olugbemi Gabimbola, gave the assurance during the visit of the criminals' hideout located at Lado Village, a Yegun Olomi area of Ibadan, where the victims were rescued and suspects arrested. Mr. Abimbola revealed that one of the suspects arrested in connection with the abduction had allegedly been involved in a series of kidnapping operations across Ibadan. According to the police commissioner, investigations show that the suspect had been on the command wanted list for several criminal activities and was linked to various kidnapping incidents within the Oyo State capital. Mr. Abimbola, however, cautioned healthcare professionals to report anyone with gunshot wounds to the police.
This is the world today, in case you've just joined us, and here are the stories that made the headlines. FG has rescheduled evacuation flight for returnees from South Africa. Oyo government has demolished kidnappers' hideouts in Ibadan. And still to come, WHO chief visits Ebola-hit Uganda, and China's president arrives in North Korea on a state visit. Do stay with us, we'll be back shortly.
Yes, with us on the Southwest Network of Radio Nigeria and the World News. Now to the foreign scene. The head of the World Health Organization, WHO, has visited Uganda, where Ebola outbreak has killed 2 persons after spreading from the neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. WHO had declared an international health emergency over the current outbreak, which was announced on the 15th of May in the northeastern DRC. According to the United Nations UN WHO World Agency, the WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus recently also visited the DRC, which had since confirmed 515 Ebola infections, including 91 deaths. The WHO chief had earlier today met with the senior Ugandan Health Ministry. Dr. Tedros said on X that out of the 19 confirmed cases, 14 were among the people who entered from the DRC and 5 are Ugandan nationals.
New Zealand has unveiled a new 6-month work visa aimed at international graduates as part of wider changes to its post-study work system designed to better align immigration settings with labour market needs. In a statement on New Zealand Immigration's website, it will be effective by November the 16th this year. Eligible international students completing certain qualifications in New Zealand will be able to apply for a short-term graduate work visa, which grants 6 months of open work rights after their studies. The government says the visa is intended to provide a short bridge into employment. The agency described it as a way to give graduates time to find employment and transition into longer-term options such as the accredited employer work visa. The new pathway is targeted at graduates who do not qualify for a post-study work visa. According to the policy, it is designed to ensure they still have a short window to gain work experience and seek employment after completing their studies.
Chinese President Xi Jinping has arrived in Pyongyang, marking a rare state visit to North Korea for a leader who had steadily cut down his travels in recent years. Amidst a 21-gun salute and the fanfare of a military band playing both countries' national anthem, Xi and his wife Pyeng Yuliang were welcomed today at the international airport by North Korean President Kim Jong-un and his wife Ri Sol-ju. During the 2-day trip, his first visit to North Korea in 7 years, Xi is expected to hold a summit with Mr. Kim. The two leaders met in Beijing just a year ago when China held a huge military parade to mark 60 years since Japan surrendered unconditionally to the Allied forces, bringing an end to the Second World War. Before his visit, Mr. Xi wrote in an editorial that relations between Beijing and Pyongyang were at a new historical starting point, facing new development opportunities.
Still on the foreign scene, no fewer than 19 people have died after a magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck off the coast of Mindanao Island in southern Philippines. The quake occurred this morning, triggering tsunami alerts in the Philippines, Indonesia, Japan, and Australia. At least 134 people were reportedly injured across several provinces, including South Cotabato, Sultan Kudarat, Sarangani, and the city of General Santos. Videos and images showed buildings collapsing, including a clip of a fast food restaurant reduced to rubble.
Today's Heart of the Matter focuses on ensuring food safety, written by Antonia Akanji of our planning unit.
World Food Safety Day is celebrated on the 7th of June every year to draw attention and mobilize action to prevent, detect, and manage foodborne diseases and improve health. The theme for this year's World Food Safety Day is From Burden to Solutions, Safe Food Everywhere, which focuses on understanding the global health burden caused by unsafe food and applying science-based solutions to prevent illness. With 600 million cases of foodborne diseases reported annually, the campaign aims to strengthen food safety measures at every stage of the supply chain, from farm to table. Safe foods guarantees good health, while unsafe foods cause diseases and conditions such as impaired growth and development, deficiencies, communicable and non-communicable diseases, as well as mental problems. Available records show that food containing harmful bacteria, virus, parasites or chemical substances is responsible for more than 200 diseases ranging from diarrhea to cancers. Safe food handling starts at production and continues through the preparation process. This is important as unsafe handling at any stage could be dangerous to consumers. For instance, due to the nature of most people's work, they depend on food vendors and cafeterias for their daily food supply, but the condition of these outlets are nothing to write home about. In addition, most abattoirs across the country are often kept in poor state with offensive odor emanating from them, and this puts a question mark on the level of safety of meat butchered in such environment. More worrisome is the fact that retailers of this beef often display them openly in marketplaces with dust, flies, and all sorts of germs contaminating them. Ripening of fruits is also done using alum, carbide, and other unauthorized substances, while insecticides such as sniper was also in the preservation of grains. There are also reports of traders who soak cassava with detergents and bleaching agents to aid fermentation, and others who boil meat using paracetamol to soften it. All these practices, one way or the other, impact negatively on human health. In line with the fact that a healthy people is a healthy nation and an asset to its development, efforts should be doubled to ensure food safety. The National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC, must beam more searchlights in the food production chain to ensure that food is safe right from the farm to the table. Recruitment training and retraining of more inspection officers is necessary to strengthen their effectiveness like in the 70s. Abattoirs across the country must be monitored by veterinary officers, while those who contravene sanitary laws should be sanctioned as a deterrent to others. Food safety requires that any food item removed from the freezer and thawed should not be frozen again to prevent contamination. Owners of cold rooms must comply with laws regarding food safety, while it is advisable that people buy frozen fruits from recognized and certified outlets. Most importantly, farmers should desist from using harmful chemicals on the farmlands and produce to ensure safety not only for humans, but also for the environment.
The script on ensuring food safety was written by Antonia Akanji of our planning unit and read by Feyishara Uwomoyela.
Let's now bring you the feature for today. Do you know that there are thousands of reptiles in the sea and jungle created with different features that make them unique? Well, one of them is the male snake with more than one male organ. For more details, let's join Mudukbe Toba.
Male snakes do not have testicles and single penis like human. Instead, they possess two male organs called hemipenis. Hemipenis are stored inside the base of the tail, and when it is time to mate, they turn right side out and the organ is shaped like a V or a Y. Snakes only use one hemipenis at a time, as having two allows male to mate more quickly or alternate sides. Some hemipenises have tiny hooks or spikes to help them grip the female during long mating section.
That script on the male snake was written by Rashida Makinde.
To end the news in the world today from the stable of Radio Nigeria, here again are the day's top stories. The federal government has announced a change in the schedule for the evacuation of Nigerian nationals from South Africa, citing logistics challenges. The Oyo State government has demolished a 3-bedroom bungalow located in the Lado community, Ayegu area of Ibadan, which was allegedly used as a hideout by kidnappers involved in the abduction of the younger sister of former Minister of Power, Chief Bayo Adilabu, and her children. The head of the World Health Organization, WHO, has visited Uganda, where Ebola outbreak had killed 2 persons after spreading from the neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. We also told you lastly in the news that Chinese President Xi Jinping has arrived in Pyongyang, marking a rare state visit to North Korea for a leader who had steadily cut down his travels in recent years.
Well, that's it on the world today. Join us tomorrow for a fresh edition of the program. It was edited by Mudukbe Toba. I'm Emilia Ujimudia, thanking you for your time. And from my colleague,
Remy Omolola, urging you to enjoy the rest of the day. Good afternoon.